All right, guys. We've got a post-match review. Manchester United 0, Brentford 4. You will remember me telling you on the very first video of this channel, remember, I have an agenda against Martial, and I have an agenda against De Gea. I said they'll never be good enough. We can't rely on them. And there's a variety of other players that we've become to mention. I am beyond words with what I've watched today. I thought, call me naive, I actually thought that maybe that because the club have got a new semi kind of structure in place, and because the players are fighting for their positions under a new manager, and because we're meant to be transforming the club and actually doing something properly, that these players might not throw the manager under the bus. And I've seen everybody talk today about the fact that the players are crap and the players aren't good enough, which we will get to. But nobody seems to be discussing the fact that Roy Keane once said that these players will once again throw a manager under the bus. They threw Ollie under the bus. They throw everyone under the bus. I do not believe, I still don't believe that those 15-odd players that were substituted today onto that field are that bad. I don't believe they are that thick that they can't follow instructions. I don't believe that they are that bad that they look so unbelievably lost. This is a set of players that every single time they find a manager that they dislike, maybe he's making them train too hard, maybe he's giving them homework like Van Gaal, maybe he's making them watch clips like David Moyes, maybe he's just boring like Van Gaal, maybe he's making them train too late, maybe he's too much vibes, he's not enough training like Ollie. Whatever it is, they will throw them under the bus and they'll just stop playing. And this is the massive problem that Ten Hag has. I'm going to keep this video short. This is the massive problem that Ten Hag has. If you come out to a group of modern players and you say, these players are shit, I've not got the right squad to win anything, the fans are going to say, oh my god, this new manager thinks the season's written off already. The players are going to down tools and he's on a hide into nothing and he'll get fired. And then everybody will say, oh, that manager was the worst ever. That manager was terrible. And then a few years down the line, you'll realise, oh, what he said was actually correct. Kind of like Ranić, kind of like Jose, etc. Or you can do the Ollie style where you G everybody up and you really try your very best to get the absolute best out of everyone. You just try your absolute best to hype them up, gas them up, you know, confidence. And sometimes they put a run together and you might get second place in the Premier League. You might get to a Europa League final, but you'll lose and you won't win the title, and then you won't get the reinforcements to actually win anything. And you're 30, 40 points off winning the title realistically, and you've got them to their top level and it's still not good enough. Sometimes you can gas them up all you want and then they'll just be plain not good enough and you'll fail. Either way with this set of players, you will fail. People keep telling me, and people keep saying things like, I've heard this a lot on Sky Sports today, well, if you look at the players out on the field, regardless of who the manager is, regardless of who the ownership is, they should be able to beat Brentford. They should be able to beat Brighton. I disagree. I really do disagree. I seem to be the only person on the internet talking about this, apart from like a few that get shit on. I don't think our squad is better than Brentford's. I don't think our squad is better than Brighton's. I genuinely don't. You might call me deluded, but David De Gea can't start for his national team. I've told you, he's dreadful. I will keep saying it. He's dreadful. Luke Shaw is utterly dreadful. He's had a few okay months coming up to a Euros where he wanted to prove Jose wrong. Apart from that, terrible Manchester United career. Fact. Dalot. The only reason Dalot is playing is because the fans got so sick of Wan-Bissaka not being able to attack. Even though he was semi-okay at defending, even though balls over the top weren't very good. So he's not great at defending, Wan-Bissaka, and he's not great at attacking. So the option is, let's put in Dalot, who's not great at defending, but he gets in the right positions. What good is getting in the right positions to attack if you're not actually any good? You could put me on the field and I could take up the most brazen positions, the most exciting positions on the field. If I can't do anything with it, it's pointless. Dalot isn't good enough. Harry Maguire is not good enough. Just think about this, man. I just want you to think about these simple things, not go over the top. You're losing 2-0 to Brentford. Your keeper's had a couple shockers. He's distributed the ball out to the wrong person because he can't play out from the back. And you're thinking to yourself, we just lost against Brighton. I'm the captain of Man United. We can't afford to go 3-0 down. If we go 3-0 down, the comeback cannot happen. He goes up, he waltzes up there, forgets that there's a man behind him, ball over the top, he's swimming, he's trying to get back. Luke Shaw's ball watching, he's trying to get back, and it's in the back of the net. He's not even concentrating. He's not doing the bare minimum. Let alone is he even good enough. He's not even fucking concentrating. He has to go. There has to be somebody at this club tonight, tomorrow, whenever. Somebody has to be the fucking sacrificial lamb of, actually, this isn't acceptable. Whether it's selling Maguire on the spot, selling Luke Shaw, somebody has to go, as in, we're not accepting this. I don't care if you're a name player or not. Your performance has not been good enough. People will say, oh, but you can't say Bruno Fernandes isn't very good. Why? What makes Bruno Fernandes good? He can't keep the ball. He can't play any sort of possession. He was just basically entirely vibes in a lockdown season where we didn't give a shit about conceding. We just tried to score and fucking shoot from everywhere, and he was on a massive high from signing a new club. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not better than Matic. I'm telling you, he's not better than Matic. Think of the players we've got today, man. I want you to think about it. We've got the exact same squad. People talk about ownership and all of that. We've got the exact same squad we had as last year, except we have a left back who's not even in the team, and a bloke with a defibrillator playing false nine, and then as a DM. Now, do you think Ten Hag is that stupid that he thinks that's the very best he can come up with? No. There was people saying, oh, he's got to switch it up. He's got to change it. Why has he brought on 8 defenders? Who's he going to bring on? When that goes so wrong in the first 30, 40 minutes, who's he going to bring on? Last year, you could have said, I could wheel on Pogba, Jesse Lingard, Matic, Mata, Alanga, maybe someone else, right? I know they're not good enough. I know they're not good enough, and that's why they've gone. But you could have wheeled them on. Who did he bring on today? Scott McTominay, instant yellow card, boots the ball out. And I'm not absolving Ten Hag of all of this, because I think when a manager comes out and he says, I'm totally happy with my squad, I'm very happy, and Marcus Rashford won't be sold to PSG because he's a top bloke and he's fantastic, and Harry Maguire will remain captain because of what he's done for this club. What's he done? Nothing. You know, so when you come out and you praise the squad like that, then that's on you. You've got to do a Conte. You've got to basically say, listen, if I'm coming to Man United, you have to back me. If you do not back me, I'm going. I'll pay out my own contract. I'll leave. We'll figure something out. But that's not what... It's not happening, is it? He's becoming a bit of a puppet for the Glazers, and that seems unfair to say already, but he needs to come out and say something. He said today at the end of his press conference, in fairness to the bloke, he said, the squad isn't good enough and we need some proper signings. The issue is, even if we get those signings over the line, we're going to lose to Liverpool, because anybody can. Man City could lose to Liverpool. So we're going to lose to Liverpool. We're going to be 9 points behind before we've even got anyone through the door. The club is a joke. The club is an actual joke, and I feel like I was almost pissed off at the away fans. God bless them for paying the money and travelling up there, but I felt like you need to walk out, man. And that 4th goal goes in, you walk out. Switch it off, walk out. Something, man. That stadium will be full against Liverpool, and they won't give a fuck. And people will say this, they'll say, well, COVID shows that they don't need ticket funds to keep the club going, so having a protest is irrelevant, because unlike other clubs, say smaller clubs, when they protest, there's not many people willing to fill their seats, whereas if 70,000 people at Man United protest and don't turn up, there's 70,000 more people waiting to get in line and buy the ticket. I agree. But the message it sends if you purchase the ticket and don't turn up and every single game is at an empty stadium, sponsors don't want to be there. It just looks awful. It would get them out. And I hate this notion of, oh, well, it won't do anything, so I won't bother doing it. You've got to stop. I bought a Manchester United away kit the other day. I fucking regret it. I haven't even worn it. It's still got the tags on, and I just feel like fucking sending it back. I feel like ringing him up and just saying, I'll just fucking have it. I bought it in extra large. I just thought I'll just chill around the house and make it nice and comfy. I got the white away one. I I send it back. It's a fucking point. I didn't get anyone's name on the back, so I don't feel any affinity with any players. So you can call me a hypocrite. Yeah, I am a hypocrite, but unfortunately I know what it's like. We like the club. I've supported the club my whole life, 30 years, and it's fucking awful, bro. And rival fans can laugh at it and say, man, the Glazers throw so much money at it. You fucking idiots. You don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm not even debating that anymore. Manchester United have no good players. People will sit there and tell you that Rashford, Bruno, Eriksen, all these players are really good players. They're not. I just can't wrap my head around it, man. We bought Brentford's supposed best player. Did nothing in that game. I remember there's a good mate of mine, Jamie. He's a Spurs fan. He really began to dislike Eriksen towards the end of his tenure. And every time he would say, corner always hits the first man. Today, bang, 2 corners hit the first man. And I just thought, yeah, like, not blaming Eriksen. I'm not blaming, specific players, but flat out, they're not good enough. When you think of the Man United's teams of old, what have we got now? Luke Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, Dalot, Fred, McTominay, Rashford, Elanga, Sancho. They're fucking awful. There's no point pretending like they're any good. They're not. There's no point saying, well, they need some training, they need some understanding. Look, I guarantee you, if Pep Guardiola wasn't backed in the way he was, meaning getting players for his system, we'd be sat here today laughing that 6 years later, Pep Guardiola is still trying to play out from the back with Joe Hart, and he's got Danilo at right back instead of bloody, whoever he went ahead and bought, and all of this stuff. He went through Bravo, he went through multiple keepers, he went through multiple strikers, multiple midfielders. Why? Because they're like, okay, this is the style he wants. This is how it works. People keep banging on about the fact Martinez is fucking 5'9", man. He's 5'9", not 3'2", mate. And most clubs don't have as much defending to do, so you play out from the back and you build it up. Martinez has no chance because we have no other players that can keep the fucking ball. So yes, he is always defending, and yes, he was targeted, but you actually watch the goal that was conceded. The fucking idiot pundits on BN Sports want to point out that it was Martinez. No, just look at the position of Maguire and Shaw. They're in no man's land. There's nobody there. We did not lose that game because Martinez is 5'9", for God's sake. We lost the ball because David De Gea can't play out from the back. We have no fucking midfielders. We have no fullbacks. We have nothing. The team is so bad, and when people talk about the players, I'm hearing them praise them. What the fuck are you praising? Rabiot, if we signed Rabiot, I've done a 180, man, because I've had time to think on this. If we signed Rabiot, he'd be our best player. And you might think you're absolutely off your head. I'm telling you, one of those interviews that people age as well, this would be one of them. If we signed Rabiot and he was properly integrated, he'd be one of our better players. Absolutely guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. I have no hesitation about it. It is this notion that Man United fans, it's like they get attached to these players. Oh, he's from Manchester, he's from Wythenshawe, he's this, he's that, and oh, this lad's good, he's academy graduate and all this. You don't get extra points for the fact academy graduates are playing. You don't get... Marcus Rashford's goals don't count for double because he's under the age of 24. People were saying yesterday, he's like, I'll make up the number. He's had 100 goal involvements before the age of 24. Find me another young player that can do that. Maybe we can't. So let's look at 28-year-olds. Let's look at 26-year-olds. Let's look at 30-year-olds. What's wrong with buying a good player because they're suddenly 28 or 30? We need some fucking good players at the club. They're all shit. I honestly think that the problem we've got as well is these players are so fucking big-headed because they play for Man United. They distance themselves from the fact that it's happening. It's like, you're the reason we're at the bottom of the league, and they'll come out and say, yeah, we need to be better. Manchester United shouldn't be down there. Yeah, you're the reason they're down there, mate, because you're shite. It sounds ridiculous, and it sounds like, oh, you're just reacting to a loss. I'm not. This is, you can go and watch my videos. This is years and years of just solid proof that those players are not good enough. Martial, not good enough to lead the line, always injured. The defence, not good enough. Rashford, not good enough. And all of these Man United players get attached to these players, and they're not understanding that a footballer is just an employee of a club. If we go and buy Rabiot and we get him and he costs 10 million and he's shit, which he might be, I don't think he would be, but let's say he's shit for your argument's sake. We go and get Rabiot and he's shit. You know what you do? You bench him and then they say, oh, well, you can't sell him. You can't sell him because he'd be on higher wages. Okay. You say to him, Rabiot, we're going to sell you, lower your demands, or you're training with the under-21s and you're not been integrated in with the club. It happens all over the country. You don't have any affinity to these people. You don't owe them anything. They're workers for the club. That's all it is. It's just fucking ridiculous, man. You can get rid of people. If Cancelo tomorrow had a year of poor form, you think Cancelo would still be starting every game? There's only one problem I have with the manager today, and that was the fact that we were losing 4-0 and he wheeled on loads of defenders to keep a 4-0, even though 4-0's fucking irrelevant. I would rather him go out and lose 6-0, 7-0 and practice his style and keep working on his style, because that's what's going to get us places, not stopping a loss at 4-0. But I can completely understand why he did it, because if he loses 5, 6, 7, 8, you're on a hide into nothing with the press. So I can understand it, but it still kind of bugged me that he was wheeling on Scott McTominay at 4-0 down. I just thought, oh, here we go. So I'm not Ten Hag out. He is a semi-puppet. We have to be honest with ourselves and say that he is protecting the Glazers with some of his statements, but we also know why he's doing that, because if you do a Ranić or you do a Jose and you go full force, you get fired. This was probably the worst result ever, and it was the most expected. I sat and watched it with my dad, and I said, we're going to lose this game. They have a better team than us. And he said, you got Sancho, you've got Bruno, you've got Ronaldo, you've got all these players. They're great. No, they're not. We're a crap side. That's why I have no problem. I was just laughing when we were losing. I don't find it frustrating or anything. I just thought, these players are utterly shit. The best thing that could happen is we just get fucking relegated, mate. And maybe some of the fucking idiotic fans will fuck off. And maybe the Glazers might leave. And maybe we'll get somewhere. But honestly, the fact that you go into a new season with the exact same squad, apart from, we're playing Eriksen in his wrong position and the left back's on the bench and Martinez is subbed because, basically it's just fucking impossible for him to defend with what's around him. What hope have we got? If those players in the past 6 years can't win a trophy, he's not going to come in and be the magic man and fucking get them to play like prime Barcelona, is he? Why do you think Guardiola buy so many players, mate? Do you think it's because he's like, fucking hell, I'm such an amazing coach. Yeah, I could coach this lad up to be brilliant, but I just fancy buying someone. No, sometimes you see someone and you're like, it's not good enough. Like, fortunately, you're not quite at the level required and you're going to have to go. Their squad is improving. Haaland, Phillips, Alvarez, all of that, right? What are we doing? There's nothing. Fucking awful, man.